was composed by the incredible Jeffrey Schmalkin, and lyrics by Jay Brancato. That is the official Live with Rye Friends on Broadway theme song. So welcome to all my friends here. To those watching at home, thank you for tuning in. This is Live with Rye Friends on Broadway. Before we begin, just some housekeeping. There is no show next week. I am taking the week off to spend some time with family, so no show next week. But we have a great show the following week. An incredible guest, J.J. Neiman, who's currently in the Book of Mormon, and he's a TikTok sensation, and as the kids say today, an influencer. So I'm very excited to have him on August 28th. So mark your calendars for that. A big announcement. I'm very excited. If you follow me on social media, you probably saw this, but I am coming to the Triad Live with Rye Friends on Broadway. We'll be doing 2 nights at the Triad Theater on September 26th and October 17th, Monday, September 26th and October 17th at 9:30, Live with Rye Friends on Broadway, live at the Triad. The 26th is a big 1-year celebration of this talk show, celebrating 1 year. I can't believe we're almost at the 1-year mark. It is incredible. Tickets are now on sale. You can go to the Triad's website to get tickets for the in-person. There's also going to be a live streaming option for those who can't make it. And you can purchase tickets for the live stream on the Triad's website as well. It's going to be through Stellar Tickets. Now that I'm saying that, I should put everything on my website page for the show, so it's easier for you all to just click, so I'll do that after. But if you go to the Triad's website, you can purchase tickets for the in-person show or via live stream through Stellar. Stellar Tickets is partnering with me to bring you the incredible live stream, which will be an interactive, fun live stream. Tickets are $15 for live stream and $20 for in-person. And if you want to be a VIP and get the Friends with Rye VIP package, which comes with an awesome goodie bag and VIP seating, you can get them for $35 as well. So mark your calendars for September 26th, Monday, September 26th, and October 17th, 9:30 p.m. at the Triad, Live with Rye and Friends on Broadway, live at the Triad Theater, and bringing this Broadway talk show there. It's going to be so exciting. And next month, especially on the 26th, I have a great guest planned. It's a big celebration of 1 year. You don't want to miss it. It's this talk show elevated. I'm so thrilled and glad the Triad asked me. So again, you can go to the Triad, triadnyc.com to get tickets, triadnyc.com to get tickets, and you can get them for in-person or virtual as well. It's triad.nyc for tickets. And go to my website. I'll have that up within the next day or two as well, so you can get them there. But if you follow me on social media, all of the links are on my social media, on Instagram and on Facebook. So I am so excited. It's such a big announcement, and I'm thrilled that the Triad asked me to bring my show there for 2 nights. So stay tuned for that. And now for some Broadway news, as I always talk about every week, which is some very exciting things. First, we do have to bid a farewell to 2 shows today that have closed. Tina, the Tina Turner musical, which we are saying goodbye to, which is so sad to see. And POTUS, or Behind Every Man, are 7 women trying to keep him alive. I believe it's the full name. It's a very hysterical, satirical comedy, which is ending its run today. It's a limited run. It starred Leah Delaria, Vanessa Williams, Julianne Hough, Rachel Dratch. So goodbye to those 2 shows, but especially to Tina, which we were so sad to see close. But Tina is embarking on a national tour, and it will be opening in the fall. So keep an eye out for that coming to your city. I know it'll be in Philadelphia, I think around December, so I'm excited for that. Being from Philly, that'll be exciting. It was announced this week that Weezer has canceled its Broadway residency, which is sad to hear. It was only supposed to be for 3 dates, but due to poor ticket sales, they canceled. They were supposed to come, I think, in October or November. They're doing a new EP called Seasons, SZNZ, and from what I understand, they're releasing 4 new singles each season. So I think they're releasing 1 in fall, and 1 in spring, summer, etc. I was truly shocked to hear this. I mean, Weezer is one of the biggest sort of pop punk bands out there today, and so personally, I think that they didn't really do a great job advertising it. I mean, I heard about it in the Broadway community because I get the Broadway, newsletter every morning, and I follow Broadway news. But I mean, for being Weezer as big as they are, they should have done more advertising, put stuff in Times Square. So, but it is disappointing that something as big as them canceled, and especially too because it's supposed to be at the Broadway Theater, which is currently unoccupied. It's home of the Little Prince, so it would have been great to have had that there and have a show there. So the Broadway Theater remains empty, and Weezer unfortunately has canceled its residency there, its 4-night residency. Some more exciting news, actually, is that also on September 6th, that's going to be a big night. September 6th is going to be the one night coming up where we say, where were you on September 6th? Because September 6th has two big things happening. Aside from it marking Leah Michelle's Funny Girl debut as Fanny Rice, also it was announced that Into the Woods will be welcoming a slew of new cast members into the woods, and I'm excited to announce that Sebastian Arculus and Stephanie J. Block, real life husband and wife, will be playing the baker's wife and the baker, which is going to be very exciting. Krista Rodriguez will be taking over Cinderella. Montego Glover will be sharing the role of the witch with Bettina Miller, which is very exciting. And Andy Carl, the incredible Andy Carl, who we love, who's married to the incredible Orfeh. Hi, Andy and Orfeh, if you're watching. Will step into the role as the wolf and Cinderella's prince for September 6th through September 15th. While Gavin Creel is out, and then Gavin Creel will return after that. Joshua Henry is still in the show, so Into the Woods is currently, it's extended through October 16th, but I'm hearing rumor that it's going to extend longer. So what an exciting new cast. So September 6th, you have two big options. Where are you going to be? Leah Michelle's Funny Girl debut, or at Into the Woods? It's going to be a big night, and I'm very excited for both. So, well, that's about all we have here for Broadway News. I'm very excited to welcome today's special guest. They are someone who is bringing the industry by storm. They are an incredible performer. I'm glad that I recently got to know them, not only through the project I produced, the Parts I Keep Inside, but getting to learn about them as a person and everything they've done. And they've just released a brand new album. So please help me welcome my incredible special guest of today's show, Moss Jones. Woo! Hey, Moss. I was like, where are they? Where are they? I'm gonna do like a special, like, just gonna, where are they coming from? You're gonna like, I think maybe you're gonna like fly from the ceiling.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, come from the ceiling.
How are you?
I am doing well, despite, the real estate of the world in New York City right now. Moving place is a little bit stressful, but we're getting it sorted out, so it's feeling like I'm on the uprise of it all. So.
Well, that's good. I know it's anything in real estate is stressful in New York, and you were telling me earlier, and I hope it gets worked out. And thank you for still coming to do the show with everything you're in the middle of. So thank you.
Of course.
So how did you get started in performing and finding your love of performing?
Wow, it's a long journey. I grew up in Portland, Oregon, so it's a little different of a culture out there. I think things have changed drastically in the last few years, but I started at 6 years old. So the reason I started was because my mom was trying to tire me out. I wouldn't sleep at night, so she put me in basketball. That didn't work. Put me in volleyball. That didn't work. Tried to make me do a whole bunch of drawing and art, things like that. That wouldn't work. And then she's an actor. Well, she was an actor and is, I guess, an actor as well too. And that's the last thing she wanted me to be, because she knows the way of the world. And so she's like, dang it, I'm gonna be an actor, and put me in a class at a small local place, and that's when it began. That's when I started doing the warm-ups with my first ever theater teacher, Keith Walls. Love you, Keith. He's out there still working on Abernathy Performing Arts, which is all the way out in Oregon City right now. Things have changed a little bit since I was 6 years old, but working with them, it started then. And as I grew up, I realized there wasn't a lot of theater opportunities in my school district in particular. So as I got to high school, I had to make a decision. Do I pursue theater professionally or not at all? Because we didn't have a drama program at the time. And so I just was like, okay, great, I'm going to try and see if I can get it, even though I don't have any professional credits. And at 15 years old, I got my first job doing a show, Duck for President, at Oregon Children's Theater, and that was my first professional gig. And then I went on to do 6 productions with them throughout high school. But that's how it kind of began. And when I went to college, there was no colleges to do BFA in musical theater, so I had to go out of state. But things have changed since then.
And so where did you decide on out of state for college?
I went to Ohio Northern University, and I got 2 BFAs. So got the BFAs, Bachelor of Fine Arts. I got one in musical theater, so Da-da-da.
Love it.
And one in international theater production, which is a production degree, but we focused on a lot of like world influence and how they do things in other countries. I did an internship with ZFX Flying Effects, which does a lot of flying effects shows and such. And I did that for a few weeks down there, and they do a whole bunch of packed shows like Wicked in Japan and things like that. They have to pack shows for people all over the country and all over the world. So internationally focused production.
That's really cool. Did you always sort of have interest in that, or was that something you sort of found while you were in school for musical theater?
So yeah, I mean, I had done some assistant stage management, but when I got to school, they told me, we don't have a lot of ITP, that's how they shorten the acronym, ITP majors, and they were like, would you be willing to, maybe try a few classes? And I'm like, you know what, don't even, just put down the major, just do it. I know nothing about this, just do it. And I started double majoring like the second semester of my freshman year, and it was, I will say, the hardest thing I've ever done. If I just stuck with musical theater, I think I would have been okay, but like ICT was a lot of things I did not know that I was learning for the first time. I built a desk. I never built a desk in high school. I built a desk. I had to do light box, lighting design, sound design. We had an improv show at the time. That was my capstone. I did a sound design and light design for that improv show, which was like, how do you do a design? How do you prep for a design for a show where you don't know what's going to happen? And it was a successful capstone, but it was my undergrad years were filled with a lot of theater.
That does sound like a lot of theater. I mean, that sounds intense, but I'm glad that it sounds like you enjoyed it for the most part, and what an interesting major. I never heard of it to do two BFAs. That's exciting.
Yeah. But things have changed there. Like recently, I we have like a combo degree or something. I had to do some more basic in law and theater, which I've seen before, but like I've never seen that within the scope of Ohio Northern.
Yeah.
And so I actually, this was way before COVID, way before videos, any of that. I got in on a video submission. Because I went to Unifieds and I auditioned for like so many schools. And I got into a few, but I was going to do walk-in and they were full. So they were like, can you send in a video? And I was like, I guess. I've never done that. I don't know how that works. And then I got submitted via video. And I had a lot of trust to move across the country and hope that it's not, you're not going to fail.
Right.
Leave your family behind and leave everything you've known behind to go live in Ada, Ohio, which is like the town itself is Trump country. So it's a completely different world to try to enter something too. So.
And then I mean, fast forward to how many years later now, everyone video submissions are like
very common. Yeah, and you know what? People say that they really like don't like it or they do like it. And I will say I am a fan of the video auditions now because I get to have control as the creator.
That's
to see how people see me. But like every time I go out to a live audition, I always say to myself, okay, why am I putting myself through this? This career is so stressful. And but I still have fun at live auditions. It's just I prefer videos.
That's so fascinating. And it's funny you say that because I always ask my guests, how do you feel about now being digital, especially video auditions? So it's interesting that you like it. I've heard different responses. I think that that's great. I do hear a lot of people say they control what they do themselves, but then I know there's also a lot of people who's tired of it, right? Like, they want that in-person experience. So that's great that you have that approach. I think that makes it so much better and so much more fun for the person doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the combo of it all. Yes. Of course, I want to see human people. But
of course.
I think you show yourself as a performer and as an actor more authentically when you're calm.
Yes,
because when you are calm and you know the lines and you know the lyrics, that's what they're auditioning to see if you're capable of. So
yes.
I want them to see when I'm at my best.
Of course.
And I deserve to be able to orchestrate that.
You certainly do. Hey, not to get off topic by the way, but I forgot to mention this at the top of the show. I want to shout out our incredible sponsor for today's show, East Tower Arts by Jacob Persley. They're sponsoring today's show. So for those who are here in the audience, we're giving away some awesome prizes. We have, this is from East Tower Arts, the 25th anniversary playbill from Chicago. They gave this away on the 25th anniversary evening. I was there, and we have the 25th anniversary pin, which for those who watch the show every week, you've seen me with my 25th anniversary pin. We have the Beetlejuice reopening night playbill that we're giving away. Dear Evan Hansen reopening, awesome cool hat that they gave to the reopening people only. So this is super rare, and the reopening playbill. And then Strange Loop, we have the awesome tote that they gave away for their first preview, and their, I believe, the playbill inside as well. So shout out to East Tower Arts, who's tonight's sponsor, Jacob Persley. Thank you. So we've got, who knows? You never know who's going to win. We've got some great giveaways, so you want to stay tuned. So was NYC always on the radar with you? I know you're new here within the last year, but was it always on the radar to move to, the city of dreams and, pursue your career at NYC?
No, I did not want to move here. I really did not like New York.
Really?
I visited it. I'm from Oregon, so it takes a long time to get here.
Yes.
But I flew for like a trip through Oregon Children's Theater when I was 18, and I came here and I loved it. And I'm on top of the rock and was like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And it is.
Yeah.
But I'm 18, starting my eyes, beautiful. And then the reality hit when I went and came and did an audition for Mean Girls, and I had to stay with a friend in her New York City apartment. And I stayed there, and I was like, oh, this is what it is, isn't it? Oh, I don't like this at all. The vibes are off. I don't like Manhattan. I don't like, it's dirty. It's cold. At the time it was cold.
Right.
And I was in a band and it stank. And I was like, no, I refuse. Until recently, this December, I was on a contract. Won't say who, but I was on a contract, and it was when COVID was spiking, and I had housing through them. And that is when they started housing COVID positive people in our housing. And I've never quit a job, but I quit that job. And so I had my car, and my partner came down to help me, and I was like, well, where do I go? Because I'm in Virginia, and I can't drive all the way across country with COVID rates rising as they are. Do I leave my car, or where do I go from here? And I was like, well, all my friends are in New York, so I'll go. And so we drove, and I got an apartment, and I lived in that sublet for a few months to start to see if I would like it, and then I got another sublet to see if I'd like it. And seeing as I've been here most of the year, I think now I'm just kind of lease because I was like, unfortunately, I really like it here.
I was going to say, do you like it here?
Unfortunately, and that's partly Jeffrey's fault, but the parts I keep aside really kind of was like opened my eyes to being like, okay, this is my start of like doing this here. And
right.
How does it feel to me? And it felt amazing. So it just feels so good to be. I already have a community. I already have people here and a lot of support. So I really like it, and it's just quirky and cute. And it's just New York.
I'm so glad to hear that you love it here. That's important, and I think that serves as a lesson for those who might be interested in New York or are curious. Moss is the perfect answer to that. They like it here, you will too. I mean, I think you're a great inspiration for those who might be in that same boat. But speaking of the parts I keep inside, that's how we met, is the parts I keep inside. I've talked about that for those of you who follow me, that the parts I keep inside, the brand new musical debuted, I just did debut, but it's in the Triad this July 9th and 11th. It feels like a lifetime ago. At the Triad Theater, and it was awesome. It was the first time we presented it as a full book musical written, composed, and created by Jeffrey Schmelkin. And Moss, you were a part of the Parts I Keep Inside, so tell us, what was your experience with Parts I Keep Inside? What was your role? And believe it or not, if you all are on the TikTok trend, and you're on the little TikTok app, I'm sure you may have seen Jeffrey Schmelkin, who's the composer. He's got a great TikTok presence. It's something that I am lacking big time, is the TikTok presence. He posted, so we had the show recorded professionally with the Triads, the state-of-the-art recording device, and what's been great with marketing is Jeffrey's taken some clips and has shared them on social media. We've taken them to show people the videos, and one of the songs he took is I'm Happy, which you sing. and it is blown up. I think as of last night when I checked, it was at 825,000 likes, views,
Yeah.
and
Well, we just hit 100,000.
and just hit 100,000 likes. So that, my friends, is like considered like viral. If we hit 1 million, that's going to be incredible. So, Moss, aside, including that, I mean, what's it been like to be a part of a project inside? What was that experience like for you? Tell us a little, expand a little bit on that.
Okay, yeah, like I said earlier, I prefer the online auditions. So that's how it began, through a backstage posting. And I was really interested in it because I was not struggling with my mental health moving to the city, and I just thought it was a really good mashup. Every time I talk about the show, people say it's like a mashup of title of show and Inside Out. Like if you were to put those together, that's kind of how it is. And I really, really like non-traditional theater. I like it when it makes you think, and it's not, oh, this is who I am, and my name is John, and I work at the bank. Okay, sick, John. But I like it when we don't spoon feed everything to the audience, because we are way more awakened there now, especially having spent a few years having to enlighten ourselves by ourselves without having to go outside. So it started with a video audition, and I was really excited. I had a really crazy day at work when I got the email that I got it, and I was like, yes, I'm so excited to have my first one. And the role I ended up getting was the first person to ever play it. His name was Beta, so it's titled after her as a shout out.
Yes.
And I follow her on Instagram. She's got great music, by the way.
We love Beta. Shout out to Beta, our love. We adore you.
Lovely. She's got a lovely voice, so I wanted to be able to live up to that. And that character is kind of centered around anxiety, and all the characters are essentially the same person. But what I loved about it is we all looked very different. And because that's, if you really think about it, things inside your mind are not the same.
Yeah.
And they might be part of the same person, but they manifest very differently. So very much was into this project to start. No matter how it was going to go, I was just fully invested. And so I started the process, learning the music. I love learning new music. Like I came to the city and I was like, if I'm going to do anything, it's going to be new words. I don't, as much as it would be lovely to do a chorus line, I don't want to do a chorus line. I want to do something different, something new, and be able to bring it to life, like we said. And that whole rehearsal process was met with a lot of us realizing, wow, we've got a lot of collective trauma from past shows we've done in the past before 2020 and being treated in certain ways by certain directors. So it just was nice for us to all realize, it doesn't have to be like that. We can have a really supportive community and a really supportive show process and have a good product without being yelled at and being belittled. So really, it was just a lovely process, and we all really bonded over it. With that in mind, with mental health, and I'm happy. It was initially written very high.
Yes.
Anxiety does sound like that in my mind. It's very of course it is. I don't know if anyone's gonna understand what I'm saying. And so we decided to lower it a little bit just so we could hear what we're saying. And I was like, oh, this is very Wednesday Addams. I'm going to add some of that in there. And there's so many songs that are very, very lovely. I don't know, can I say the title of one of them that has a word in it?
Okay.
Fucking Degree in Music,
Yeah.
which is just like an OG, and I had to sing that, or I got to sing that for my audition. That was a lot of fun, and not really knowing the full scope of the show before I said it, it was lovely to see it come to fruition. But that's what that's about. Okay, got it. It's all coming together, and fully, once we did it at the Triad, we were able to. It was a short rehearsal process, but we brought it together and made it what it became, and what the videos you see on TikTok are. And I'm really excited for it to progress and get even more. I very much intend to be a part of this project as it continues to grow and change. So,
well, as the lead producer on the project, so he's involved, there's much more coming. There's much more to a life of it. So don't you worry, there's more to come. But I think what was so interesting with this video that blew up too is reading the comments, and people, and it solidified even more. People were like, I relate this so much. Oh my gosh, even though the small snippet that was on the TikTok video, how many people were saying, I relate to this. Oh my God, is this how I feel? This is speaking to me so much. So that was fascinating to see too. So that must have also, I feel like, made you feel good, but also like sort of, sort of brought everything together, I guess, too, right? Like it's, the comments were so interesting to hear, like, that they agreed with it, like, that same way.
Oh, yeah. And there are people who have duetted the video or.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they'll take the audio from the video and then they'll sing along, which is like makes my heart happy to see like people really invested in it, but also relating to it in a comical way of like, yeah, like this is funny, but also not great. Like,
exactly. I didn't even know people were. I knew you could repost it. I reposted. I don't know where it goes on my TikTok.
Oh yeah, with the repost thing, I have no idea.
Okay, I still have no idea how TikTok works.
I think it boosted
it. I'm like, I didn't see it on my page.
I'm not fresh with the kids.
So I'm not in with the kids today, but it's all I know is that it's doing viral. So if you're on TikTok, check it out. Give Jeffrey Schmelkin a follow. Give the Martini Inside a follow. Also follow, give me a follow, and look for I'm Happy Clips on Jeffrey Schmelkin's page, and also see the other clips. Fucking Degree Music, Put on a Smile, and so many others. So now changing gears a little bit, you are obviously music is such a big part of your life, and you've released a new album called Chromatic Connection. So tell us a little bit about that and where the inspiration came from. I found it so interesting. What I thought was cool is each song is also named after color. There's a color associated with each song as well. Is that intentional?
Oh yeah, very much so. Mind you, I did have this idea before Chromatica came out.
Okay.
But this was like in 2020. I had the first time idea, but it's the Chromatic Connection. If that rings a bell, it should, because it's like the rainbow connection. Shout out to Kathy DeVolt, who was my ITP professor. She would play that on repeat on trips, so I got to know the Rainbow Connection very well. So thank you, Kathy. And the point of it is the chromatic. Chromatic means like the color scale, but also like the chromatic scale in music. So it has a dual meaning. And I wanted to find a way to have people interact and be like, oh, my favorite color is green. Let me do green instead of having to remember the name of the song because it might be easier for them. And so I wrote all these songs, and I'm not sure what is it. It's 2022 right now. Yeah, very almost 2023. So about 2.5 years of work. I've been writing music for a little bit, but like 2020, when 2020 hit, I was like, right. Like, how can I be running out of time? Like, that would be like running so fast. And I very much relate to colors, as I'm a preschool teacher right now. I work at the New York Kids Club. I'm very, very big on colors. Is like one of the first things they have, like thoughts, touch, and look at and associate with certain things. And then every culture's colors mean different things. These are just personal, what these colors mean to me. But if you look at the EP, one color is missing, and it's blue. Blue is missing because my first single I released is Silence, and that would have been blue on the EP. So, but it's very much clearly blue if you look at the cover of it. But yes, very much on purpose, and all the songs are boss, in my opinion. And I did this pretty much on my own. Like,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I did it. I had a little bit of help from the Mohawk Studio in Sandusky, Ohio. Shout out. Really recorded my vocals there and started to learn a little bit from that experience. And then I hired a lot of really cool people on Fiverr, actually, that were like, oh, I really dig this project. And so I used them over and over again to get like a consistent sound. And this is my first time. I had no guidance. I have a lot of friends who do it, but I can't be like, hey, explain to me how this all works in a document, please. I had to fail a lot. Like, a lot of things didn't make it.
And that's how a lot of things are done today. That's, I think, the only way that you can truly learn is doing it, jumping in like that and learning and having to fail and having to do that. And that is the only way, I think, for you to truly know and understand. And it makes you, I think, a better person at the end to be able to do that,
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, there's a song in the show called Can I Be Afraid? And that song is about like realizing you have to fail. Like, you have to fail. It's gonna happen and you have to accept it. And it's actually a good thing. Because if you don't fail, how are you ever supposed to learn? And I know my generation in particular was very much coached on growing up that A is where you start and you fall from that. When in reality, it should be C. You start at mediocre because you don't know where you're starting from, and you go from there. But if you're fighting to keep perfection and you can lose it with one mistake, it could ruin some people's mindsets on what success is.
Yes, it could. It really could. Well, let's actually hear from the album. You're going to be performing.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. What's the song that you're going to be performing from this album?
Boys I've Loved Before, which is a kind of a shout out to a Netflix original.
To all the girls I used to-
or all the, it's technically to all the boys I've loved before, but my song is titled Boys I've Loved Before.
I
It's a
love
little
that.
different, but a little shout out to that.
Amazing, amazing. Well, let's get you set up here, and we're gonna have Moss perform. This is very exciting. You've got your guitar, which is awesome, and everything.
Oh yeah, I have this guitar in Sandusky, Ohio as well. It's beautiful. Is this low enough?
Yes.
I don't wanna bump that. We good?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is Boys I've Loved Before, which is purple on the EP, the Chromatic Connection, which is on all streaming music platforms. So give it a listen. My hands are clammy. Hear me sing a soldier too. Remember our adventures in June. Hot nights and the fireflies remind me of your moonlit hair. To all the boys I loved before, it was a time that I adored. A drink for us I hope you pour, 'cause memories come round at night, and so I learned how to cherish honesty, and that no man could ever repeat or complete. To all the boys I loved in time, it wasn't fate that you gave mine. It was a past that we aware. 'Cause now all of these boys are men. Ooh. Oh. it was the first one I wrote of the album, so
Oh
like
my God.
right when the shutdown hit, that was the first thing I wrote. So.
I mean, that's exciting. Do you have any, shows in the works coming up, like any concerts of that, or presentations, or are you working on getting these songs out there for people to hear?
Yeah,
or?
I'm working on doing performing at like local venues and
Oh,
bars and things like that. I have a partner who's in a band right now who's doing the same, so I'm trying to get my foot in the door.
Good.
Their band is Never Sometimes Always, which is like a punk band, so if you're into that, shout out. But that's what I'm trying to do, so if anybody wants me to perform for them, I would love to do that and give your restaurant or something some ambiance.
Amazing. Well, we'd love to see that. So, let's do some trivia for those who are here in the audience. And you're welcome to play. I say to my guests, you're welcome to play. You totally do not have to, so don't feel pressured.
I know what I'm saying.
So this is, again, I'm going to say a trivia question. If you get it right, then you can actually have your choice from one of these prizes up here. So, alrighty, this question is, Mary Martin starred as the boy who will never grow up in this 1950s NBC TV to film musical.
Peter Pan.
What is the musical?
Yes.
Peter Pan.
Yes.
Peter Pan. Yes, it is.
My first ever show I did, like my big one, when I turned 12, I played Peter. And so I was super, super obsessed with Mary Martin and Kathy
Me
Ritchie,
too.
and I
Me
got
too.
like a whole bunch of stuff and like fairy dust, and I cut my hair like this for the first time and dyed it blonde, so that way I didn't have to wear a wig. So
I
that's
love
not
it.
what I know.
I love it. Okay. My phone, I believe my parents were watching, so that they were getting a test. Because literally Peter Pan was like mine too. I was introduced to the Mary Martin one first, that's what I grew up watching, and then I found the Kathy Rigby version, and loved that one. That's one of my most favorites, and would watch it on repeat. I would pretend to like fly around the house. I would always like jump around pretending to like fly, and amazing. Well, if you'd like, you can choose one of these awesome prizes. We have the Chicago 25th anniversary playbill from the 25th anniversary performance. We have our Beetlejuice playbill from the reopening, and we have the Dear Evan Hansen reopening as well. And we have the Strange Loop exclusive Glad Tote, and inside is the first preview. They gave these out at the first preview.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go with the Strange Loop.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, we'll grab it after. Fabulous. Oh, yes. Fabulous. Well, that's yours. We're going to do one more for a few of our other audience members that are here. But yes, Peter Pan, I think, like, Joseph, so Joseph and NBC Color Dream Code is what turned me on to theater. I mean, seeing the Donny Osmond version in my Catholic school really, like, got me into what, like, that show was a special place in my heart. But Peter Pan, I mean, the Mary Martin version, like, with the two hooks, he had, like, the double hooks, and I just, like, that.
That was my first
I
thing
grew up on that.
made me feel powerful. It makes you feel powerful, really.
I remember seeing it going to Philadelphia. It's called the Academy of Music. It's their big national touring house that they have there, and it's one of the oldest opera houses in the country. And seeing Kathy Rigby, Peter Pan in like 2005, I think my nana on my dad's side got us tickets, and it was like Easter Sunday. We were all up in a family circle, but I remember just being able to see that in person, and at the end she flew across the audience. Peter Pan was my jam. So I love that. I love that that has a special place in your heart too. Okay, so Mr. Mistopheles is a character from which Andrew Lloyd Webber musical? Cats. Yes. Congrats, Jeffrey. It is Cats. You have your choice here. The Strange Loop has been claimed, but we have the Chicago playbill, we have the reopening of Beetlejuice, or we have Dear Evan Hansen.
I already got this.
Moss has.
Well, I just.
Well, it's one prize for her.
You get whatever you want.
This is,
You just can't have this one.
the audience chooses, so whatever you like.
Alright,
So
let's take the Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice is sexy. Beetlejuice is smart. BJ is a graduate of Juilliard. There you go, Jeffrey.
Did I ever tell you that my fake long name is Mostifer?
Yes, at Monster. Okay,
In the
I was going
reason-
to ask you that because on your social media handle is Mustafa Jones.
Yes.
And I was going to ask you, is that what that have to do with Mustafa Jones?
It is.
Cats?
It's literally the only reason.
I love it. I'm going to ask you, it's funny you brought it up because I was like Monster Jones. I was like, I'm assuming that she does, that they do know that has to do, that is Monster Jones from Cats.
This is literally the only reason. The job I was working, they were like, Moss is not a professional name, you need a longer name. And I'm like, okay, Mostifer, like that sounded better. And they were like, yeah, it's lovely, it's very professional. It's Buster Jones, guys. So I worked in a dentistry, they had no idea.
Wow.
But I thought it was hilarious.
That is so hilarious. It's hysterical. I love it. And that's what I said, like, when I first saw your social media, I was like, I'm pretty sure, okay, they have to know that, I'm like, but then I'm like, but no, I'm not weird that loves cats too much. Then maybe it's just me, like, thinking that, maybe they just wanted to, because to Topher, like, maybe they thought, like, and I was like, no, I think most know that it's probably cats. I'm going to assume they know that it's cats, like they do Buster Jones instead of Buster Jones. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Amazing. Well, so what would your advice be for those who are wanting to record, songs or albums of their own? I mean, you are truly the epitome of doing it yourself and making it work and coming out with something so beautifully. And I think there's something to say the fact that this was new to you. You found out how to do it. You use services such as like Fiverr, which was great. And now you have I don't say let the tell the tale, but you've done it now. And I think there are so many people out there who either just are afraid to do that or don't know how. And so what would your advice be to performers who want to create this, but they don't know where to begin?
They don't know where to begin. Okay, so what I've learned in my many, many tales of trying to understand how the music industry works is YouTube. YouTube. There are many people I follow. Like, it's free content.
Yeah.
It's free. They'll teach you how to do it. If you want to do it from your bedroom, you can. You just need the right materials and the right instruction. But everything you could ever want, knowledge-wise, is on YouTube.
Yes.
So honestly, 10 out of 10, YouTube to start. And also a bit of advice, which I wish I would have followed like early on and then I did follow, is don't settle for less. If you are like, man, I've been working on this for a year, I'm just overthinking it, I should just really know. There are some things that you really, really want to happen in your music. You take the time and care for it like a baby, because it is a baby that you have to set on the right foot when it begins, because it's out there forever once it's out, and you don't want to listen to your music and think, I really hate that bass line, or I love the words there, or like there's a part in Road to Somewhere which I kept, even though I totally messed up in the vocal session, but I think it gives it some character, and I love it.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, like, I decided to accept that, but don't settle for less. And knowledge is out there. Don't be afraid to ask your friends, but they don't have the time to tell you everything. So be resourceful. Use the internet, because there are a lot of people who didn't have it back then. Use it now. Free tool. Give it a look-see.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, there's so much you can learn from the internet and from YouTube, and I think that sort of serves as a lesson for all of us to be able to do that and create something as beautiful as you have with the chromatic connection. Amazing. Well, Moss, thank you so much for this, for taking the time to chat with me today and talk a little bit more about what you do, your careers, or anything that I haven't touched on that you want to mention, anything with your career or songs, projects.
I mean, other than that, I think you touched on pretty much everything.
And you're in the process, obviously, of working on getting a little show or something out there, a little performance.
Something's gonna happen.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really leaning
Put yourself
into it.
out there.
But like I said, like every time I do something like this, I would say, wouldn't be here without my family. So love the Ward family, and
Your family is pretty awesome.
and my partner Sam Maxwell. He has great music, and I wouldn't have been able to learn a lot of what I know without him. So
Yes.
love that. Shout them out.
Your family's very supportive too, because I even remember the parts that you can sign. They were very supportive. They were very violently loved. It was the Moss Jones fan base. It was, yeah. What were we saying?
If you listen to the video, you can hear my sister. She's the like in the back, and there's like 7 comments like, man, whoever's laughing in the background, they understand. And I added my sister in every comment. She goes, I'm like, your laugh's going viral, Mariah. Like, sorry to hear it, but it is. And she's like, wow, it's genetic.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, where can we keep up with you? Where can we follow you?
Instagram, Mostifer _Jones, what it is. Spotify, but music is also on Apple Music, iTunes, any music platform you can think of, it's on. So you can keep up with me and like some updates and stuff. Instagram is my primary.
Okay, and is there a website as well, or?
Oh yeah, there's a website. Yeah, www.mossjones.com.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, Moss, thank you so much for taking the time out. Thanks for chatting with me. Thanks for everyone for watching and everyone here. Again, there is no show next week. I am off. I'm taking some time off. But the following week, on August 28th, we have J.J. Neiman from the Book of Mormon and Instagram influencer, TikTok influencer sensation. He'll be here performing from the Book of Mormon, a special song and a special version, which is very exciting. And again, I will be at the Triad Theater September 26th and October 17th at 9:30 for Live with Rye Friends on Broadway, live at the Triad. I'm bringing this talk show to you. Tickets are on sale now. They're $20 for in-person tickets, $15 for the live stream if you can't make it in person. And thanks to Stellar Tickets, who is sponsoring the live stream and who's producing it. You can watch and interact through there. And if you want to be a Friends with Rye VIP for $35, we have the VIP tickets happening. You get an awesome goodie bag, and you also get great seating as well. So you can go to the Triad, check out the Triad Theater and purchase tickets, or if you go to my Facebook or Instagram, you'll see links there, and links will be up shortly on my website to purchase tickets. So thank you so much, everyone. I will see you in 2 weeks on August 28th. Have a great night, and thanks for watching Live with Rye Friends on Broadway.